Hi everyone, welcome to Gamer Things IRL. Today going to be doing a quick overlook and first shift into this game, Ostranauts. Had a quick look over it, played it a little bit just to get a good feel, but it's quite an interesting game, space survival sim with the kind of an objective of growing your ship, getting new ones, obtaining new crews, you know, tackling and kind of scrapping derelict ships and building up resources, adding cash and getting permits to be able to go and do what you need to do. But quite an interesting game in early access. But let's jump right in and I'll show you what it's like. Starts off in a very interesting way. You pull up a career resume, start deciding what way you want to do. I guess the start of the game, right? So you can spend a lot of time enhancing skills or learning new skills, or you can spend a little bit of time doing some um, kind of like cash saving, trying to save up to buy a ship, stuff like that. So I'll be able to jump into this with you as we go through our first shift. Let's just randomize here. He'll do. Don't want to go too deep into the customization, but they have quite a bit to choose from there. Now, what this is kind of what I was saying. You know, a lot of lore, a lot of interesting bits to kind of to dig into if that's what you're into, if that's what really kind of gets you going with games. But for me, like I said, I just want to kind of skip through the main parts and show you what the game is all about. So in here you can see the different types of areas, seek adventure, work on self, save some money, seek ship, and then you can review your resume. You can see you've got different traits which you can go and obtain by doing different things like seeking adventure or by, let's say, for example, working on yourself. And the way I always did it, or the way I kind of found to be helpful when I was doing it, was to leave. Well, look, this is, like I said, your own personal preference, but you can literally add in whatever you'd like. Be it you want to be a really skilled electrical engineer, just throw that in. It makes things easier to deconstruct when you're scrapping ships, all the way down to, being ugly, you know, repulsive, lustful. So you can really go through all these different types of traits and how they'll help you. But for me, I get rid of it on fit. I go for fit, right? So as you can see, it adds 6 years onto your playtime. You start at age 18. Mid-age or middle age in this game is considered 30. I know, right? And everything after that then is, old age. I think it hits about 40 in this game. So you start to add in, or it starts to add in stuff like slow metabolism, right? Bad eyesight, weak back, stuff like that. So you'll be able to run through it all. So what I normally tend to do is I take away the bad traits, I guess, but I leave some of the ones that I know are going to change once I age up, I guess, right? So I don't like the visually impaired one. Yeah, here we go. So you can see it's clumsy, slow healer, slow metabolism, and poor hearing, right? So that's what I get to because I'm now considered old age once, or well, not old age, middle age. So I'm going to go ahead and apply these 29. So I'm aged 29. I can review my resume again, and I've been able to take away a lot of the bad traits now. Slow healer, slow metabolism, fragile and poor hearing. I can live with them, but being unfit and having slow blood circulation, stuff like that, they're obviously ones that I don't want to hold on to. Anyway, but that's just me. You can change it and put on whatever you'd like. Have them as negative as you'd like. It's all up to you, fully customizable. So seek adventure. This is where you're going to be able to do different things. So woman calls, stop you from doing dry or mouth dry. So basically, it's just like again more lore. You get to pick what you want to select, right? So it's multiple options. You get to pick, and whatever you pick, you can see the outcome. So, as in, like for example, I'm going to bluff, right? So on this particular one, I've got because I've already ran through it a couple of times. I just bluffed that one, and now because I've bluffed, what I've got now is skilled in forgery, skilled in acting, and I'm now 500 quid better off. So my net worth, once I click out of this, is going to be 598, right? So build your net worth up a little bit, added a couple of skills, go to my resume. You can see here, yeah, skilled in acting, skilled in forgery. So really good for being able to forge permits, act your way out of situations. So really quite an interesting way to add in new skills. Seeking the ship costs a year. I'll show you that as we progress. I'm not going to do that right now, but basically what it will do, actually I'll do it for you, is it just going to pull up a template ship, one that's available to buy. You don't need the cash straight up. So the way the game works is you can read about it. It'll tell you, you're right, ORS of moderate, right? So indicating that it's legal for sale but does not possess ship systems beyond basic travel and life support. So there's other ones that are basically like this will kill you, in other words, or you're this is basically borderline death, etc. See here, all the different types of kind of some elements of attributes, dimensions, size that comes in handy when you're scrapping and bringing stuff back to sell. But for this particular ship, it's a mortgage of 811,000, which you would then have 2,187 per shift payment, right? So the shift down the bottom are done in 6 hours. Every 6 hours, you have to pay that value to the bank, or else you pay late fees. I haven't ran it through to see what happens. I would imagine they take the ship off you or something if it gets really bad. I wouldn't be too sure, but that's what I can see so far. So I'm not going to go ahead and take that ship. It's not a bad size, decent enough kind of setup. So I don't want it just yet. I want to advance myself a little bit more. Now that costed a year, but that's all right. Seek a little bit more adventure. So, hulks of black and metal loom around as you ride through the labor barge, right? So it's basically giving me an idea of what it is. Arm guards backs turned. Do I hack the lock, cut the crate, mislabel it, or reports pure security? So I'm gonna go ahead and report it just for kicks and giggles this time, right? And as you can see here, they gave you a reward. So what did I get? I got skilled in business admin. I got a new trait of loyal. I got a new contact who is the manager from this Azika way station. And if I'm not mistaken, they gave me a shoulder bag as well, right? So nice, easy way to help with salvaging. So really does change all the different aspects of what you can kind of start off with. Now, quite an interesting one because it's based on RNG, but here's a nice idea. Basically looks like a card game, doesn't look like we're going to lose the hand. This guy's overconfident, has betted his ship essentially, right? So threw his keys on the table. Now, there's 4 different options. The reason I went for fit is because I've tested this and seen. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab the keys and I'm going to run. So I'm quite fit. I haven't lost that trait yet, I don't think. You can see here in the log. So because I'm still a young adult to a degree, I have that fitness level. So I'm going to grab the keys and I'm going to run. And I think what that does is I get this ship day one. No mortgage payments, as you can see. And I will not have any cash left, I believe. So I'm going to grab the keys and run. So you can see, snatch the key, right, kick off the chair, fly towards the door, make some enemies from this, and you can kiss your bye and goodbye, but the ship's yours, right? So here's a nice way to get a ship for free, no mortgage, day one. It's not the best ship in the world, but it's decent, good condition, doesn't need a lot of repairing, right? So, and then it will kick me straight into the game now, because that is the point of it. Once you get a ship, you're ready to go. So this is why I did work on myself, get rid of a couple of the kind of negative traits, and then threw fit in there because I knew that that's one of the ones that comes up in the RNG role, and I was lucky to get it. So let's kick off, submit, and here we are, age, what, 32 or something now, I think. This is our view in the space station. You can see it's mostly blacked out. That's actually where your ship is there, and it's got different sections. So we start off in our own little room. You press I, and it gives you a nice little walk around. So unpause and press play in the trigger, and that'll unpause it, right? Much like a lot of the kind of the city building or survival based kind of games, right? Because this is more simulated, it's quite easy to work with, right? So as you go through it, it's going to tell you different objectives, right, or different ways to start playing the game. Like I said, because I've already kicked off, I have a good feel for how to play it, right? And it's just to kind of give you an idea. So here you can see, I'm just going to toggle the power on this switch. It's going to kick off and show you what's powered up here. You can have a look at the power lines, what this powers. When you turn it back off, you can see it turns the power lines off. So yeah, really easy to plan out how you're going to use, I guess, everything that you need in the game to kind of to work through everything. So as you can see, it's telling me to pick up the toolbox, open my inventory, which I can do. The step-by-step guide is a little bit slow in terms of if you've already done it. It'll ask you to do it again. So anyway, it's telling me to open this rack here and collect my hazmat or spacesuit, sorry. Throw that in here. That's my collectible tote bag as well. So control this in this hand, carry this. And now I've got a lot of extra slots. So when I'm coming to salvaging, you don't actually have to hold the tools in your hands. You just need to have them in your inventory. So it's really handy to know because I thought you needed to have them in your hands all the time. So I was switching screwdrivers out, and you don't need to do that. What you just need to do is make sure you have the item that has the, I guess, look, for example, take these out. Now, if I drop this on the ground here and walk away, because I still have these items, I'd be able to hack, break, or deconstruct something, I guess is the best way to put it. So, but that's easy space. Nice toolbox to have, so I'm going to bring it with me. Have a look in your fridge, drink pouch. You have stats to manage, sated, energy, pain, all of the usual that you'd expect in a kind of a simulation game. And you can see the 2 drink pouches there. That'll help me keep going. Some cigarettes there that I'm going to sell. And that's kind of an overview of the inventory element now. So it's going to be telling me what to do. So look, place the yellow toolbox in your hand slot. So I'll go ahead, I've already done that. It's going to ask me, and then walk through, right? So again, really interesting game, a lot of lore, a lot to read through. It's not what I would do. I'm dyslexic, I don't read well, so I'm not going to run through it with you and put you through misery here. But it's really good for lore, right? Quite an interesting game, nice writing. So really good, really well done from the guys. And it's telling you to install this now. To do actions, you right click. They bring up the list of options. Always make sure, for example, this conduit here, and underneath is a floor. So depending on what you obviously want to work with, just make sure you're picking the right one. Now he's installing that. I'm going to fast forward. Goes up to max of times 16, and then you've got super fast forward. As you get bigger crews, bigger ships with a lot of automated tasks, that's going to come in handy. You can also open your inventories from your inventory. Example, there's pockets on your spacesuit or your clothes, so you can go ahead and toggle your inventories from them, like this, for example. You see now, just after opening the spacesuit, taking out the lamp, the torch here, and turn the torch on so I can see in here.